What's good, everybody? How you guys doing? After the extreme high that was UFC 261 this past Saturday, we come back to reality a little bit with a fight night which I consider on paper to be very weak, which is Reyes versus Prochazka. But before I get into the predictions on this fight, let me quickly talk about some news in the MMA community. TJ Dillashaw is out in the fight against Corey Sandhagen. He has a cut above his eye. He is unable to make the date, which is May 8th, next Saturday. It's unfortunate. I was really looking forward to this fight. These two used to train with each other. And, the bantamweight division, in my opinion, is the most exciting division, the most fun division currently. And it's my personal favorite division right now in the UFC. It is just firing at all levels, and there's so many prospects, so many up and coming guys. There's older guys who's been in the game for like 10-15 years who are still showing out. It's just a great division. It's really an exciting and fun division. And unfortunately though, that main event has been postponed, canceled. I'm not 100% sure. They're looking at making Marina Rodriguez versus fucking Michelle Waterson the new main event. I'd much rather prefer they make Neil Magny versus Jeff Neal the main event, because I know both of those fights were supposed to be on the undercard of this fight. So, but yeah, that's very disappointing to hear that fight has been removed from the May 8th card. But it is what it is. So now let's go on to the fight night, Reyes versus Prochazka. And man, this, like I said in the intro, this fight, this fight night is very underwhelming. I'm gonna make predictions on three fights, but let me just talk about two fights real quick. Sean Strickland, who's a number 15th ranked middleweight contender in the world, versus Krzysztof Jotko. Both these dudes are primarily strikers, so I think this fight will most likely play out on the feet. Sean Strickland looked really good, had a really solid jab in his last fight against Brendan Allen. And Krzysztof Jotko, he's a pretty good striker as well. We'll see how this fight goes. I'm just not really intrigued in making a prediction on this fight, particularly because, yeah, those two guys, if they, they do a little more, move up in the ranks a little more, maybe I'll make predictions on it, but as right now, not really. And Jan Kutalaba versus Dustin Jacoby, both these guys, they are solid light heavyweights. Jan Kutalaba is on a little bit of a losing streak, unfortunately. I know he got tapped out by Glover Teixeira after gassing himself out. He had that wonky loss to Magomed Ankalaev where he pretended to be hurt, but he wasn't really. And then he actually got starched by Magomed Ankalaev in the rematch. So, and Dustin Jacoby, used to be in the UFC, got cut, came back through the Contender Series, and, he's been performing well. So this is a bit of a step up in competition for him. But yeah, both these guys, they should have a fun, entertaining fight. I think it's going to mostly play on the feet. Although I think if Dustin Jacoby uses wrestling to try to take down and hold down Kutalaba, that might be the smart way to go. But yeah, let's get into the first fight I'm going to be making a prediction on. Merab Dvalishvili versus Cody Stamann. Man, this is a really fun fight, and again, that stacked bantamweight division. Personally, I think this is the fight I'm most looking forward to. Fans might not like this fight that much because I think there's going to be a lot of grappling, not a lot of like big power being thrown. It's going to be a lot of volume, a lot of grappling, a lot of clinch work, a lot of maneuvering for positions and stuff like that. These are two people who are very, very, very good grapplers, both Cody Stamann and Merab Dvalishvili. I think if I give an edge to Merab, just based on his pace and his pressure, he's probably a better grappler than Cody, but not by much. And, a lot of times when grapplers fight each other, it ends up being a striking match. So if we're talking about the striking, I think Cody Stamann is a little more polished in his striking than Merab, and I think he probably has more power than Merab. But, Merab, he's not the most skilled in his striking. He has shown that he's very he's very inexperienced in striking, which is okay because he's not really looking for the striking, he's looking for his grappling. So yeah, this fight should be very entertaining, very fun. Now, if we're looking at my prediction, if we're looking at my prediction, I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Merab Dvalishvili by a decision. I think his pace and his pressure should be a little too much for Stamann. I think Stamann will have some success on the feet. I think he'll have some success being able to stuff Merab's takedowns. I think he'll have some success if he gets taken down to be able to get up. The problem is Merab is just relentless with the pressure. He's just going to continue. He takes you down, you get up, he's going to continue to be in your face. And I think it's just, he's not going to really give Cody Stamann a lot of room to work. Cody Stamann might be able to get a couple takedowns of his own, if I'm being honest. He might be. But I just think Merab's overall pace, pressure, and, volume is just going to be a little too much for Stamann. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Stamann, but I think he should be able to get a decision win. So now we go on to the co-main event. Giga Chikadze takes on Swanson. And man, to me, this is also a very fun fight. The well-rounded vet in Swanson takes on the up-and-comer in Giga Chikadze, looking to really make a name for himself in this fight. A big step up for Giga. He's fought, some good featherweights, but he's getting a real step up in competition. Cub is the vet of the game. He has a very well-rounded skill set, has power in both hands. And it's going to be interesting to see how Giga handles this, because Giga, he's not really a grappler. He's a very, very, very technical kickboxer, but his ground game has not really been tested much in the UFC. And I think Swanson's going to come out here and try to test his ground game. Giga Chikadze, he has solid takedown defense, but will it be good enough to handle Swanson? We'll see. And if Swanson gets to the ground, that could be issues, because Swanson, I believe, is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he was able to compete with Kron Gracie, able to stuff in jiu-jitsu. He was able to stuff Kron Gracie's grappling attempts, and he was able to hang with Kron and then beat him up on the feet. And this fight's basically going to be the opposite. He's going to try to hang with Giga on the feet and then get it to the ground and beat him up on the ground. Now, I think Giga Chikadze's takedown defense will be able to withstand Cub's attempts if Cub does attempt, because Cub isn't the best takedown artist, most efficient takedown artist in the featherweight division. It's not even close. He's not close to that. So I think Giga should be able to handle Swanson's takedown offense. So, and then we go to the striking, and like I said, Swanson has power in both hands, and if he lands on Giga big time, it could hurt Giga bad. But overall, Giga Chikadze just is the better striker. He's just technically better everywhere. He has great kicks. He's very quick and swift and slick striking. So I just think my prediction is going to be Giga. I think Giga Chikadze is going to be too much for Swanson, and I think he's going to be able to get Swanson out of there in the second. I think he's going to have to feel out Cub a little bit, stuff the takedowns, because I'm sure Cub's going to try to crash in a few times. Stuff the takedowns, and he might even get taken down, who knows, but he's going to have to be able to scramble. But once he starts to get a feeling out of what Cub does and how Cub feels in there, I think he's going to be able to find a shot, pick at Cub, and eventually set Cub up for something big and get Cub out of there. So I think Giga Chikadze will get a second round TKO. And now we go on to the main event, which is Dominick Reyes versus Jiri Prochazka. This fight, it's so hard, at least for me, to predict, because I haven't really seen much of Jiri. I only saw his Volkan fight, which he was getting beat up. He wasn't, beat up's the wrong word, but he was getting touched. Volkan was touching him, and Jiri exploded and was able to get Volkan out of there, because Volkan was being a little too aggressive, and Jiri exploded with a counter and got Volkan out of there. Jiri was very much playing with his food in that fight. He was just allowing Volkan to hit him. He was being a goofball in there. And I think it gave Volkan a false sense of security, because Jiri was allowing him to touch him, and Jiri wasn't taking it too serious. It seemed like it wasn't taking it too serious. I think it gave Volkan a false sense of security, and Jiri was able to land a big shot and get Volkan out of there. And I think Reyes, Reyes is a very technical dude. He has good kicks. He has very good hands. He's not the quickest guy at 205. I think Jiri Prochazka will have a speed advantage over Dominick. I believe Jiri is going to have more power than Dominick, even though both men are quite powerful. I think Jiri's going to have more power. I think Dominick Reyes is going to have more volume, and he's going to be a little more technical than Jiri. I think this fight's going to play out a little bit. It's going to be, very interesting. I think Reyes is going to come out, put some volume on Jiri. I think Jiri, he's going to come out. I don't think he's going to be as playful as he was against Volkan, but I think he is going to come out there and be very, very loose, very, very comfortable in there, because he doesn't seem like a guy who's going to let the lights get in his way or let the lights get the best of him. I think he's going to come out there and be very calm, very in a flow state, very, hands down, the same way he was against Volkan. Maybe not as much showboating or as much taunting, but I definitely think he's going to be in his flow state, very comfortable out there. And I think Reyes is going to be landing some shots early. I don't think anything to rock or hurt Jiri, but I think Reyes, he's going to be winning a lot of the exchanges. But I think what's going to happen is one big explosion might rock Reyes bad. So it's going to be one of those things where Reyes is winning, putting volume, putting pace, putting pressure on Prochazka, and then Prochazka might explode and hurt Reyes bad. So Reyes is going to have to be very aware. Reyes is a very smart dude. He fought John Jones very smart. He fought Jan Blachowicz pretty smart. I mean, I would have liked to seen a little more pace or a little more volume, out of him in the first couple rounds. He wasn't really throwing much against Jan. Probably because he was worried about the power, but he wasn't really throwing much. But once he started to open up, Jan clipped him. So, but yeah, I think Reyes is going to have more success in this fight because I don't think Jiri has that one shot. Well, he does, but I don't think he's Jan Blachowicz powerful. So, but yeah, my final prediction, this is going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be a very fun fight. But I think I'm going to have to go with Jiri Prochazka. I don't know what the betting odds say, but I think Jiri Prochazka is going to be able to explode at the right time and clip Reyes and stun him and then eventually get a knockout or TKO. Reyes 100%, I can see him winning a decision. I can see him clipping Jiri late, as I don't know where Jiri Prochazka's cardio's at. I know Dominick Reyes can go 5 rounds at a good pace. He does start to fade in the later rounds, but I mean, who doesn't? I mean, these dudes are weighing in at 205 pounds. You're going to start to fade. Those heavier guys, the 85ers, 205ers, 265ers, they're going to start to fade in the later rounds because they're just bigger dudes. That's just the way it is. They're carrying more mass. So they're going to start to fade in the later rounds. So Jiri might have phenomenal cardio. I don't know. Like I said, the only fight I saw was his Volkan fight. I'm not sure. But he seems like a fast twitch dude, and just statistically fast twitch dudes don't tend to have the greatest cardio. But I think Jiri is going to be able to find a big shot in the 3rd round, explode big on Reyes. Reyes leaves himself open, Jiri explodes and hurts Reyes bad and is eventually able to finish him. And I think that's going to come in the 3rd round. I think Reyes is going to have some success though, and I definitely could see Reyes winning. This fight, this is a true test for Jiri. Jiri wins this fight, he's next, right? I mean, Jiri wins this fight, he's fighting the winner of Blachowicz versus Teixeira, right? I mean, or he could fight Rakic. But yeah, he's right there. So, if Reyes wins, that's a huge win for Reyes. And if Reyes wins, book Reyes versus Thiago, right? Everyone was saying that's the fight. After Reyes beats Jan, make Reyes versus Thiago for the title. Well, maybe, Reyes wins, he fights Thiago or something. I don't know. Light heavyweight division, I'm so glad. Light heavyweight division is starting to, become a little more lively again. I think it's because of John Jones. With John Jones being the supreme leader, the reigner, the king, whatever you want to call it, nobody believed anyone had a chance against him. Now that John Jones is gone, it seems like any of these dudes can beat any of these dudes on any given night. Like, Blachowicz versus Teixeira is not determined. Blachowicz is not guaranteed to win that fight because Teixeira has many ways to win that fight. But yeah, this fight should be exciting. Like I said, the card overall is a little underwhelming, but it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoy. Leave your thoughts down below who you think is going to win this main event. And yeah, I'm gone.